How does a film initially pitched as Jaws in space become one of the most iconic horror films of all time? Hop on board the Nostromo because we're talking about Alien. I'm Eric Lash and welcome to You Gotta See This. Now, this isn't your typical Film 101 Best Movies of All Time Must See Before You Die list. No. On this show, I'm going to take you through the films you have to see in order to survive in pop culture. And I'm going to throw in a couple of my personal favorites along the way as well. Released in 1979, Ridley Scott's Alien has terrified audiences for over 40 years. It's had such lasting power because it is so well done. The story follows the crew of a commercial space tug, the Nostromo, as they face off against an alien menace. After receiving a potential distress signal, the ship's computer, also known as Mother, wakes the crew from hypersleep to go investigate. Some of them go down onto the foreign moon and discover an alien spaceship. One thing leads to another, and Kane, played by John Hurt, ends up with a freaky, face-hugging alien stuck to his head. They bring him back on board the ship, despite Ripley, who's played by Sigourney Weaver, insisting that they follow deep space quarantine protocols. A monster beyond all of their imagination incubates inside of Kane's body and bursts forth in a shower of blood and gore in the iconic chestburster scene. What happens next? You'll have to see for yourself. What makes this film so special? It's hard to narrow it down, but let's cover the basics. The practical effects in this movie are so good, one might even say they're out of this world. I hated that. Anyway, the different alien props and costumes designed by H.R. Giger are the perfect mashup of the human form, machinery, and terrestrial predators. And yes, Giger did get some of his construction materials from animals, actual dead animals. Like the inside of the little facehugger thing is made from raw fish, oysters, and animal organs. Now, disgusting? Absolutely. Like, that is so gross. I can't even imagine what the set smelled like. But was it effective? 100%. This was one of the only films where all of the props had to be stored in the refrigerator because they had a shelf life. Now, all of their hard work was totally worth it because in 1980, they won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. The sets were 100% real. There was no blue screen action going on there. Scott and his team built all 3 levels of the Nostromo on a soundstage in the UK. There were only a couple ways in and out, so the cast and crew had to spend an insane amount of time winding through all of these narrow hallways. The claustrophobia you get through the different camera angles and, most importantly, on the actors' faces, wasn't faked. They used pieces of scrap metal, found materials, and even parts of a retired air bomber to give the Nostromo that gritty, real, authentic look that was light years away from the sleek, modern aesthetic of Star Wars. The terror was real. The infamous chestburster scene where the alien pops out of Kane's chest like some sort of Jim Henson A Nightmare was captured in one take. Now, the production team didn't tell the cast that they were going to be sprayed with literally gallons of fake blood. They also didn't tell them that they were going to be using real animal organs to make up Kane's viscera. That's so gross. They captured the reaction in real time using 4 separate cameras. The result was so intense that a couple of the cast members, including Veronica Cartwright and Yaphet Kotto, ended up out of commission for the rest of the day because they were in shock. Ridley Scott's methods for this scene may have been some sort of James Cameron-esque OSHA violation that would end you up in court today, but, I mean, it inspired some truly incredible, authentic performances. So, do with that what you will. Why is Alien so important? Up until that point, science fiction hadn't really taken off. The only major entry into the genre was Star Wars from 1977. Alien's dirty, gritty, blue-collar aesthetic made it way more accessible to a wider audience and added a sense of eerie realism. Ripley wasn't just your standard, run-of-the-mill, stereotypical horror movie final girl. She burst onto the scene as one of the first female action heroes. The final standoff in action movies had always been kind of a game of last man standing, but Ridley Scott and Sigourney Weaver flipped the script, a move which has inspired countless movies since. I mean, look at Almost Anything with Charlize Theron. I don't know if you would have gotten that without a character like Ripley. Alien is a masterclass in pacing and storytelling. At the beginning, you have these long tracking shots of the crew waking from hypersleep and going about their day, which gives a very mundane feeling. But then as the plot thickens, the pacing gets faster and faster and faster and faster until it builds to the frantic, frenetic climax. If your heart isn't pounding through your chest by the end of the movie, put down your phone, Mary, because you obviously weren't paying attention. So to wrap up, here's my scorecard for Alien. Rewatchability, I give it 5 out of 5 flamethrowers. I've seen this movie probably 15 times and it still gets me. Artistic quality, I give it 5 out of 5 xenomorph eggs. It's consistently ranked among the best movies of all time. It was deemed culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant by the Library of Congress, and in 2002, it was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. As far as quotability goes, I give it 2 out of 5 space cats. There aren't very many iconic lines from the movie other than Sigourney Weaver's, "I got you, you son of a bitch." The most quotable thing is actually the tagline they used for advertising, which is, "In space, no one can hear you scream." In conclusion, Alien is going on the YGST list as a must-see right now, immediately. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you guys liked the video. Come back next Tuesday when I will be discussing another pop culture juggernaut. In the meantime, I hope you have a good week. I'll see you later. Bye! Someone flushed a toilet somewhere in my house, and now you can hear the running water. Fun fact, I film in my basement.